Now tempera paint. With tempera paint, we need our palette to mix our colors onto, our water, a cloth to dry our brush, and of course 4 painting tools. We have secondary and primary colors in our tempera paint. We can take 1 container at a time. Remember, when I'm taking my tempera paint, I use the popsicle sticks to scoop it up and put it on my palette, making sure I'm putting the popsicle stick back in the right color. I take the colors that I want, 4 colors maximum. Only once I have used all of that paint, then I can get some more paint in the same colors or different colors. Remember, as I'm painting, I am not using the popsicle stick to mix. It is only to pick up our colors. I can use my paintbrush to mix all the colors I want on my palette, nowhere else. Making sure I clean my brush as well so I don't get muddy colors. It's time to clean up. Push my popsicle sticks down and put the lid back on the paint, and then bring the container back to the right spot on the painting studio shelf. Then I can clean my palette in the water at my desk, not at the sink. I can use my paintbrush to help wash out the paint that's in the little holes, or I could use my finger, making sure I keep brushing until all of the paint is gone, like this. Then I can put my painting palette away to dry on the table by the sink.
Tempera Techniques.
Let's use tempera. Remember, when we're using tempera, we need some brushes, some water, and a cloth to dry our brushes. Now let's look at some tempera techniques. The blend. To blend colors, we put a little bit of water in our colors and then put the colors beside each other and brush over and over sideways to blend them together. Dry brush. You guessed it, we use a dry brush to do our dry brush technique. So dry it out really well, and then we just use a little bit of paint on the end of our brush and drag our brush across. We can layer it to get a nice textured look. Wet on wet. Turn our tempera paint into watercolors by adding a lot more water. And we can blend them together to make a watery effect. Overlay. Layer down 1 layer of paint and then let that layer of paint dry. It'll take about 5 minutes. Then we can go over top with another color, and we'll be able to see the color underneath sometimes, or sometimes we won't, depending on the paint. Palette knife. We can use a palette knife to smear paint around and create thicker paint that we often call impasto. Graffito. Create 1 layer of paint and let that layer of paint dry. Again, it'll take a couple minutes. Then we can put another layer of paint over top and take a paint scratcher or a toothpick and scratch or draw into the paint to see the color underneath. Scumble. Move your paintbrush in squiggly motions, layering different colors over top of each other. Try to blend them in as you squiggle the paint around. Soft and hard. We can make a soft edge by putting paint down and then using a dry brush to rub around the edges of that color. We can make a hard edge by having thicker paint and going straight across on the line. Bonus! We can use other tools we have around us like Q-tips to add different techniques on top of our paintings. So these are a few of our techniques. I can't wait to see how you try them.